How you doing, guys? Zane's Every Boxing Dosage here, back with another video. In this video I'd like to give you my preview and prediction for this upcoming fight. It's going down next month, July 19th. It's the return of Harlem Eubank versus David Papot. Frenchman, David Papot, southpaw. Decent fighter, you know, only lost once in his career. Interesting thing that Harlem Eubank and David Papot fought a common opponent in Josh Wagner. You know, Harlem Eubank beating Josh Wagner in his last fight. You know, a 12-round comfortable unanimous decision victory. Whereas Josh Wagner, you know, David Papot was able to knock him out within 7 rounds. You know, this fight is going to be a test for Harlem Eubank. I'm not going to lie, because, you know, Harlem Eubank hasn't really fought any southpaws of note. He's only fought like about 3 southpaws, and it's going to be a tricky fight for him because, you know, Harlem Eubank, you know, he fought someone on the highest level, and I believe he's an elite level sort of fighter. The fighter I'm talking about or referring to is Jack Catterall. You know, Jack Catterall was able to, you know, skill and outwork, you know, and outthink Harlem Eubank, and he was a southpaw. So that's going to be the interesting question. Has he learned to deal with that southpaw stance and to get into the inside of a southpaw? Do you understand? Not only that, David Papot is very heavy-handed. You know, it's deceptible because he's got five knockouts on his record. But the thing is, you know, he's given Liam Parrow his only defeat on his career. He gave him a tough competitive fight. And Liam Parrow is a decent sort of fringe contender, world level sort of contender. Do you get what I'm saying? Liam Parrow gave him a competitive fight, like I said. It's going to be a good fight, you know, regardless. You know, what I'm interested to see in this fight is whether Harlem Eubank has learned to adjust against, like, you know, southpaws. You know, definitely is going to be an interesting sort of question to find out, because he had trouble against Jack Catterall, you know, and Papot is really good. You get me? He's only lost once in his career, so, you know, so has Harlem Eubank. So it's gonna be an interesting fight. Like I said, the common opponent they both had is Josh Wagner. Josh Wagner got knocked out by David Papot. On the other hand, Harlem Eubank went 12 rounds with him. You know, even though it was an easy fight for Harlem, you know, he wasn't able to knock him out like the way David Papot was doing. Do you understand? So that poses a question. You get me? David Papot, he might be as good a fighter than what people are making out to be, and the odds suggest that as well. The odds have Josh Wagner, David Papot as the favorite going into the fight. But, you know, David Papot hasn't fought someone on the skill level as Harlem Eubank. I think Harlem Eubank, even though out of the Eubank brothers, you know, Chris Eubank Jr. is the more sort of famous star, or whatever they sort of make him out to be, Harlem Eubank is definitely more skillful. Do you understand? Chris Eubank Jr. can't box to save his life. You know, that's my honest opinion. That's just my opinion. You understand? But Harlem, on the other hand, is a very good boxer. So, you know, with that being said, here's gonna pop problems for David Papot with his athleticism. Do you understand? Harlem is very athletic. I like that about Harlem, because he can use that athleticism to his advantage in this fight. Because Papot, as a sort of French sort of fighter, he just comes forward. You get me? He's not really athletic with it. He doesn't use much of his footwork, his feet to get in and out of range. Whereas Harlem, I've seen that wrinkle to his game. Do you understand? You know, so that will be the interesting question. But, you know, it's been a while since I've given a prediction, so I've kind of studied a lot, you know, whilst I wasn't on YouTube, about boxing more and more, you understand? It's just I never posted about it. So yeah, I have been doing a lot of research, you know, and quite confident Harlem can get the job done here with his athleticism and skill, you know, to hit and not get hit. I think that will sort of play into his advantage, you get me? Because like I said, he's very athletic, you understand? So yeah, man, I'm gonna go with my final prediction here. I'm gonna go with Harlem Eubank to win this fight by unanimous decision, on points. You know, nevertheless, I'll take Harlem Eubank outright on this pick. You know, the odds are really decent on him, but like I said, it might be a competitive fight, you know. So yeah, man. But as for this one on the comeback, I'm gonna go with Harlem Eubank to win this fight outright. Let me know your thoughts, guys. As always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share the video, as it goes a long way to helping out the channel. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Zane's Heavy Boxing Dosage. I'm out.